Thank you, delegates. And we are now going to go on to Solidarity Forever. I think we'll be ready at the back. So if you're able, if you could please stand, and we will do Solidarity Forever, please.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yeah, what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. C'est nous les femmes du syndicat présentes à toutes les tables. Nous défendrons toujours nos droits, si c'est pas négociable. Nous autres, on n'a pas froid aux yeux, on sait ce que l'on veut. Le syndicat, c'est nous. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Ensemble, nous vaincrons. Through our sisters and our brothers, we can make our union strong. For respect and equal value, we have done without too long. We no longer have to tolerate injustices and wrongs, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Solidarity forever. Solidarité, mes frères et mes sœurs. Ensemble, nous vaincrons. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Nothing like getting that to get your blood flowing. J'adore tout simplement l'énergie qui accompagne le Congrès à l'occasion pour les membres de SESJ de tout le pays de se rassembler et de définir la direction de notre syndicat pour les 3 prochaines années. Il y a 3 ans, le Congrès triennal du SESJ se tenait à Whistler en Colombie-Britannique. Combien d'entre vous étaient présents à notre congrès de 2023? So how many of you were present at the 2023 convention, just in case you missed that, okay? Combien d'entre vous êtes ici pour votre premier congrès du SESJ cette semaine? Oui, il est beaucoup. C'est toujours excitant de voir de nouveaux délégués participer à nos congrès et je veux souhaiter une bienvenue toute spéciale à chacun d'entre vous. Il me semble que c'était hier que j'ai assisté à mon premier congrès de SESJ. Mon premier congrès était en 2005 à Halifax. Je suis très vieux. Je me souviens que je ne comprenais pas rien quand je suis entré dans la salle et je me demandais de quoi parlaient toutes ces différentes personnes en réunion. In fact, as I had mentioned to many of you yesterday, I had no idea what I was voting on or what elections were taking place. And I hope that caucus day yesterday was very helpful to all of you and that it was an opportunity for you to learn and understand and prepare all the work that lies ahead of us. This was not something that we had back in 2005. Leading to this week's convention, there has been a lot of preparation, and it takes a huge team of people to pull off an event like this. And I want to quickly acknowledge those who have contributed so much. Cela inclut notre incroyable comité d'accueil, notre exécutif national du SESJ, le personnel dévoué du SESJ et nos directeurs du SESJ. Merci beaucoup pour tout le travail accompli jusqu'à aujourd'hui et pour le soutien que vous continuerez de fournir durant toute cette semaine. I also want to thank all of our convention committee members who met back in April in Ottawa to discuss and to debate and to prioritize the resolutions for this week. Your contributions to preparing for this week are so important and greatly appreciated, so thank you. Now, I've never done this before, so forgive me if it feels a little cheesy, okay? But I want you to take a look around. Take a look around in this room. Look to the person on your right. Lynette, you have nobody maybe, but you can look to the left. And just take a look at all the people around. What you're looking at today is not just a room full of delegates, but you're looking at the members of Team USJE from coast to coast to coast. A team that is highly committed to serving and representing our membership and that often sacrifice their own personal time for the needs of peers and colleagues. A team which stands up and fights for healthy, respectful workplaces, for workers' rights and human rights, fair collective agreements, as well as the future of our members. Now, for the last 3 years, the federal government has tried to treat public service workers like numbers on a spreadsheet. That's where you're supposed to say shame. Thank you. They looked at our departments and demanded up to 15% budget cuts under their expenditure reviews as a means to find operational efficiencies. You've got the momentum. They looked at our desks and they handed down cold blanket approach to the return to office mandate. They thought we would quietly absorb the extra workloads and just accept the burnout and suffer in silence. But they forgot one critical thing about USJE. We will not back down, we will not break, and we will not stay silent. I don't know if you know, we're live streamed, so we might have some people watching. Au cours des 3 dernières années, le SESJ s'est affirmé en informant les Canadiens et les politiciens fédéraux au sujet de qui nous sommes et au sujet du travail important que nous accomplissons. Nous sommes la colonne vertébrale opérationnelle du filet de la sécurité publique du Canada, d'un océan à l'autre. Et quand l'employeur a menacé nos emplois, nous n'avons pas seulement écrit des lettres. Nous sommes descendus dans la rue. Nos membres ont déclenché une vague de mobilisation sans précédent à travers le pays que le Conseil de Trésor ne pouvait pas ignorer. USJE organized regular national mobilization days wearing colors, handing out information on the cuts and on the return to office mandate, and showed the Treasury Board that we are disciplined, we are unified, and we are a force. We took that fire straight to the nation's capital in October 2024, and many of you were there, with our offensive roving rally in Ottawa. We took to the streets of Ottawa and marched directly to the doorsteps of 3 separate departments within 1 hour period to protest the Treasury Board's return to office mandate. And we stood outside Court Administrative Services, outside of Public Safety Canada, outside the Correctional Service of Canada. And we raised our voices so loud the walls shook, and we delivered a clear message, uncompromised: stop the mandate. In March 2026, USJE held a historic rally in Yellowknife, and I'm not embellishing that, where our members stood shoulder to shoulder on the frozen ground in minus 50 degrees Celsius weather to fight for more resources and against the cuts at Public Prosecution Service of Canada. Think about that for just a moment. At minus 50, when brittle steel snaps and your breath turns to ice, and it did. USJE members held the line, and we proved that there's no weather too cold, no terrain too harsh, no employer too stubborn to freeze out this fire of our solidarity. If we can hold the line in a Yellowknife winter, we can hold the line anywhere. Et soyons honnêtes sur le prix de tout ça. Nous faisons face à la dure réalité de réaménagement des effectifs. Ce réaménagement représente une inquiétude réelle. C'est aussi la suppression d'emplois. C'est la perte de postes temporaires et c'est des familles inquiètes pour leur avenir. Mais je veux dire ceci clairement à chaque membre qui doit vivre ce stress. Le SESJ a toujours été là et le SESJ continuera d'être là pour vous. And who is the face of this promise? Who is the face? Again, take a look around. It's our frontline union representatives. The work of union representation on the front lines has become more important now than ever before. Our frontline stewards and local executives are carrying an immense amount of weight. Every single day, you are stepping up to defend the peers through the most complex, high-stakes situations imaginable. You are fighting through increasingly difficult cases. You are standing up for members in grueling duty to accommodate battles, forcing a rigid employer to respect human rights and individual dignity. And you are holding the line on critical health and safety issues, particularly around the crushing, unsustainable physical and mental toll of workload stress. It's your dedication, and it's the literal lifeblood of this union, and we owe you all an immense debt of gratitude. And now we are facing an entirely new frontier of employer overreach. We are looking at the rise of artificial intelligence and the threat it poses to federal public service workers. We see the employer looking to algorithms and automated systems to replace human judgment, cut corners, and ultimately downsize our workforce. But we need to remind Ottawa of a fundamental truth. We all work in the people business. That's where we work. You cannot automate the rehabilitation of an offender, whether it be through a correctional program, educational upgrading, inmate training, or supervision. You cannot replace the empathy of an RCMP detachment service assistant who takes the call to help their fellow community member in distress. Our work requires a human heart, a human mind, and a human connection. Public safety is fundamentally a human endeavor, and we will fiercely fight any attempt to change the work of our members that will result in job losses and take the human element out of the services we provide to Canadians, and we will fight. Maintenant, le SEJ sait à quel point l'environnement est difficile sur le terrain. Alors, au cours des 3 dernières années, pour vous soutenir, nous nous sommes concentrés sur 6 priorités stratégiques principales. Chacune de ces priorités est en train de générer des résultats positifs. First, let's take a look. We took on operational stress. Through our presumptive injury campaign, we commissioned cutting-edge research to reinforce the impacts of workplace trauma on the lives of many USJE members. Our political lobbying successfully resulted in the introduction of Bill C-357 in the House of Commons in September 2023, moving the needle to legally grant every federal public safety worker automatic, uniform mental health coverage. USJE has also held successful political events on Parliament Hill in recognition of World Mental Health Day, where federal politicians could learn more about the changes that USJE is seeking to the Government Employees Compensation Act. Second, we stood tall for our members with USJE's RCMP campaign. As provinces and territories look ahead to renegotiate their policing contracts by 2032, we are loudly speaking to the undeniable value of our members' work and the absolute importance of the RCMP across this entire country. Lawmakers and Canadians are learning that you cannot run a safe community without USJE members keeping those detachments going, not to mention the thousands of members who make up the operational backbone right across the country. And in the province of Alberta, she may not be watching, but Premier Danielle Smith refused to meet with the USJE representatives to discuss the value of the RCMP. But you know what? USJE found a way to run into her at a political event at the Calgary Stampede in 2025. Premier Smith was quick to point out that the federal government had not made an open commitment to staying in contract policing, so USJE approached the Commissioner and the Minister of Public Safety on this. And I'm very proud to say in February 2026, both the Commissioner of the RCMP and the Public Safety Minister announced publicly that the Government of Canada was committed to staying in provincial and territorial policing. Troisièmement, grâce au leadership incroyable de notre Comité national sur l'équité du SESJ, nous avons tenu notre deuxième conférence sur l'équité en mai 2025. Puis nous avons développé et mis en œuvre nos campagnes révolutionnaires CR3 et CR4. Notre Comité national sur l'équité continue de trouver de nouvelles et imposantes façons pour défendre les groupes méritant l'équité en se préoccupant des postes administratifs au niveau des débutants qui ont dans le passé été lassés pour compte par la négociation collective et en forçant l'employeur à s'attaquer aux écarts salariaux systématiques. Fourthly, we completely transformed how we fight with a focus on mobilization and member engagement. USJE has put in place a sophisticated national plan for regular mobilization events. We have used these events and these dates to actively advocate on our members' issues, taking the fight directly to the government on budget cuts and fair collective bargaining. Fifthly, we made significant changes to our internal approach when it comes to preparing for future rounds of collective bargaining by establishing the USJE Collective Bargaining Strategy Committee. Because of these strategic changes, USJE was able to get 6 USJE members elected directly to the 4 Treasury Board bargaining teams. And I believe all 6 of these bargaining teams are here this week, so I would ask you to please stand up. We ensured our public safety voices are directly at the bargaining table, and this committee is continuously doing the vital work to prepare us for all future collective bargaining issues and potential strike actions. En dernier lieu, nous avons travaillé fort pour réduire de façon importante les retards chroniques liés aux griefs. En faisant de cela une priorité, le SESJ s'est assuré que les membres du SESJ peuvent enfin voir leurs griefs entendus et possiblement résolus tout en forçant la direction à prendre ses responsabilités et en accélérant l'obtention des résultats. Les vraies menaces qui nous attendent restent graves. L'employeur insiste pour rester sur ses positions. Les coupures sont toujours à l'horizon. Mais regardez bien ce qui se passe quand nous restons unis. Grâce à notre campagne contre la coupure budgétaire, nous avons mis de la pression sur la gouvernementale fédérale. Nous avons réussi à les forcer à prendre une pause, à réfléchir et à défendre le nombre de coupures. Friends, as we open this triennial convention, remember that we are all in the people business. And remember that we have an incredible frontline representatives who help fight the battles every single day. The challenges ahead of us are real, but our solidarity is truly an unstoppable force. Let's use this week to work together to set our path for the next 3 years and send a roaring message to Ottawa. We are united, we are strong, and we're just getting started. Cette semaine, nous allons traiter de nombreuses résolutions venant de nos membres. Notre objectif est de toutes les examiner. Et je suis convaincu que nous ferons tous de notre mieux pour garder nos débats respectueux et pour travailler ensemble afin de mener à bien les questions à trancher qui nous attendent. So thank you. Let's have a phenomenal convention, and let's keep fighting together ensemble. Now we're going to go on to the next agenda item, which is the introduction of the National Office staff. So I think we're probably sending a message for people to come in. Okay, I'm going to begin with labor relations. We have the Directrice des Relations de Travail, Melanie Crescenzi. Now they're coming. Agente en relations de travail, Catherine Bergeron. Agent en relations de travail, Christian Lemaine. Agente en relations de travail, Sharon Espero. Labor Relations Officer, Robert Strang. Labor Relations Officer, Darcy Gauthier. Agent en relations de travail, Jean-Yves Lebel. That sounds like a hockey player. Head of Information Management, Danielle Fossette. Okay, now we're going to go to the Policy Projects and Media Relations. Make sure everybody's in place. Directeur des Communications, Sébastien Bezot. He was a figure skater when he was younger. Director of Policy, Government and Public Relations, Nancy Peckford. Executive Assistant to somebody, me, the National President, Chantal Prudhomme. Communication Specialist, Megan Yaden. Digital Design Specialist, yes, we have one, Kim Vanderhelm. Bilingual Digital Design Specialist, Zoe Albert. Communications Officer and Researcher, Atorina David. Okay, last but not least, but this is where the money is. So you better scream really loud because they remember this, okay? So we got the Finance Administration team, la Directrice Finance et Administration, Christina Hatchard. Finance Officer, Melanie McCormick. Assistant to the Director of Finance Administration, Jonathan Savard. We saved the best for last, eh, Toffee? Administrative Assistant to the Director of Finance Administration, Toffee Hawk. be a test afterwards. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next agenda item, and I want to talk a little bit about Sharon DeSouza. Sharon DeSouza was elected as the National President of the Public Service Alliance of Canada at PSAC's 20th National Triennial Convention in May 2024. She previously served as PSAC's National Executive Vice President, a position she held since 2020. Sharon DeSouza has broken barriers at every stage of her activism, becoming the first racialized woman in PSAC's history to serve as both National President and National Executive Vice President. Previously, she became the first racialized woman to serve on PSAC's Alliance Executive Committee when she was elected to the position of Regional Executive Vice President for Ontario in 2011. Sharon's ongoing leadership and relentless pursuit of justice underscores her commitment to fostering an equitable, inclusive labor movement and better conditions for all workers. Born in Karachi, Pakistan, Sharon came to Canada at the age of 5. After earning a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the Ontario College of Art and Design University, Sharon worked as a benefits officer with Service Canada and served as Vice President of Equity for her local Canada Employment and Immigration Union Local 00648. I would like to now call upon my president, Sharon DeSouza.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis vraiment contente d'être ici avec vous à Québec, sur le territoire ancestral non cédé de la nation Huron-Wendat. Nous honorons également les liens historiques de ce territoire avec les peuples Wabanaki et Innu. Je salue leur présence passée et présente sur ce territoire et réaffirme notre engagement vers la réconciliation et la décolonisation. Woo, that was, I thought I was speaking this afternoon. I did that run up from the back. So first, I just want to begin by showing appreciation to your component president, David Neufeld. You know, David has invited me to speak to your convention, but his continued leadership on PSAC's National Board of Directors is so profound. David never ceases to put the members of USJE first, to represent you well and to be a measured and strong voice around the table. And I want to thank you, David, for all the work that you do on behalf of your members. So I am going to go a little bit off script, so please bear with me. I found out that you have a former president who's also here, John Edmonds. And I'm going to tell you why USJE always has a soft spot in my heart. People always talk about how regimental you are and how strict, and no, they're very set in a certain way. But no one talks about your heart. And John Edmonds has always been an ally to me. And for those of you who know in terms of history, I wouldn't be in this position now if it wasn't for John. John stood up in spaces where I wasn't present, and he fought and he spoke truth to racism. And so I know he's here. I believe this is his first convention after 14 years of coming. So please give him a warm welcome. I know. And I just want to say that your component has done some amazing work regarding equity, and it shows. It shows in the opening, it shows in everything that you do, the campaigns that you're working on. And so that is a testament to your leadership. So thank you. And I also want to thank you, the delegates. You have flown from far, drove for hours, and left loved ones behind to be in this room to do union work. We know that this is a sacrifice, and we appreciate your dedication because we need your commitment now more than ever. Right now, over 14,000 PSAC members across the country have received workforce adjustment letters. It is a shame. 405 USJE members. Entire branches are being hollowed out in the name of efficiency. Correctional Service Canada just confirmed a second wave of cuts. 144 of your colleagues have received affected status letters. These are people who run programs, who keep institutions safe, who make rehabilitation possible, cutting crucial jobs in the name of optimizing internal services, as if public safety is just a line item. Make no mistake, the federal government is gutting jobs and public services from coast to coast to coast, and it will have real consequences. When the government announces cuts, it often reassures Canadians that frontline services will be protected. But every frontline depends on someone behind it. Every correctional officer depends on administrative staff. Every prosecutor depends on legal support staff. Every RCMP operation depends on analysis. IT professionals, finance officers, and countless other public service workers. Our members are not the back office. They are the backbone of Canada's justice system. In communities separated by vast distances, where resources are already stretched thin, a single worker can be the difference between people getting the service they need or going without. These cuts will leave workers with crushing workloads, stress, and uncertainty. And how will they fix the mess they are making? Well, that's the magic of AI, of course. The government seems convinced that artificial intelligence is the answer for staffing problems. Personally, I think they should try actual intelligence first. You know? Now, don't get me wrong, AI has its benefits as a tool, but a tool doesn't replace judgment. It doesn't replace accountability, and it doesn't replace experience. And it certainly doesn't replace the dedicated public service workers who protect our communities, support our justice system, and serve Canadians every single day. On a eu un exemple très concret de ça récemment. En juin dernier, la compagnie Ford a été obligée de réengager plus de 300 ingénieurs après avoir éliminé leur poste pour les remplacer par de l'intelligence artificielle. Et oui, la compagnie a essayé de sauver de l'argent, seulement pour réaliser que l'intelligence artificielle n'égale ni les compétences ni l'expérience de vrais humains. Ils ont cru faire de profits records en utilisant des robots. Toutefois, ils ont été obligés de faire marche arrière parce que la qualité n'était pas au rendez-vous. Plutôt que de constater les dégâts peut faire l'IA, le gouvernement garnit son tête à continuer. Il tente de tourner les coins ronds, mais on le sait, lui aussi va rentrer dans un mur. L'intelligence artificielle ne devrait jamais servir de raison pour éliminer des milliers d'emplois. Yet we're seeing the same reckless approach to AI with their return to office mandate. The federal government imposed 4 days a week out of the blue without thinking about whether space was available, if the offices were safe, or even consulting the unions. They know that government is trying to save money, and you know what? I get that. But making and maybe forcing thousands of workers back into expensive office space is not the smartest way to do that. So at the back of the room, I believe John Edmonds has joined us. If you can stand up, John. Especially when we've already proven the work can be done remotely. And here's what gets me. The same government is telling federal workers they need to be in the office 4 days a week to prove they've engaged and productive. At the same time, cutting the jobs of people who never left the building. Many USJE members didn't need a mandate. They've been showing up at the institution gates, at the RCMP detachment counter, on weekends, on holidays, the whole time. If presence in the workplace is really what this government values, it's a funny way of showing it. And the government has chosen to eliminate these jobs all during a cost of living crisis.
Shame.
How is Treasury Board supporting workers during an affordability crisis with a wage offer of less than 1% per year?
Shame.
From the largest employer in the country, that's not an offer, that's an insult with a signature on it. And accepting it would mean a real pay cut for nearly 200,000 PSAC members who help people access benefits, keep our food safe, protect our communities, and respond when disaster strikes. You deserve living wages, healthy working conditions, and financial relief. Thankfully, this relief should come a little faster than usual because the Labor Board agreed to bypass the Public Interest Commission. So far, we've received this for our PA, EB, and CRA tables. No more months of non-binding delay tactics. We told them the PIC was a stalling tactic, and now we get to skip it. It's a small win, but we'll take it. Because federal public service workers have already waited long enough for a fair agreement, and many USJE workers are still fighting for the basics, for CRs and CR4s to be classified and paid for the actual work that they do. For public safety personnel to get the presumptive mental health coverage they've earned, instead of being told a decades-old law like GECA, the Government Employees Compensation Act, doesn't quite cover their injury. Because nobody should have to fight for whether their trauma counts. This government has failed workers on so many fronts between WFA, GECA, and RTO4. The employer cannot promise you a raise or a parking spot, but by God, it will hand you a 4-letter acronym. Despite this employer's disrespect, we won't back down. Nos équipes de négo ne baissent pas les bras. Elles continuent à se battre parce qu'elles ont votre bien-être à cœur. Les négos, c'est plus que la signature d'un nouveau contrat. C'est à propos de respect actuel, vous avez droit. Pour ressortir gagnant, il faut qu'on se serre les coudes. L'employeur veut que nos membres ne soient ni informés ni engagés dans les processus de négo. On ne va pas se le cacher, on a beaucoup de travail sur la planche, pas juste moi ou les équipes de négo. Tout le monde ici a un rôle à jouer. Notre âme la plus redoutable, c'est nos membres. L'employeur essaie de nous passer une CP, mais on ne va pas le laisser faire les bras croisés. Notre solidarité va être de plus en plus importante. C'est notre responsabilité à tous de montrer c'est qui les vrais boss ici. Je compte sur vous pour qu'on se mobilise. Every time the employer makes decisions for workers without listening to workers, USJE members turn frustration into action and action into victory. Just last year, members secured a collective agreement for RCMP civilian members under Treasury Board representation after years of perseverance. That's 600 more members with a seat at the biggest bargaining table in the country. That's how you build power, one hard word agreement at a time. USJE has been running a powerful national presumptive injury campaign, pressuring politicians to recognize that operational stress injuries deserve the same attention as physical injuries. And you have been one of the loudest voices against the arbitrary return to work policy. Your perseverance is helping us build a stronger, more organized union that's ready for whatever comes next. That's exactly what keeps this union going for decades, and it's exactly what will get us through this roundtable. So thank you to your executive and your locals, every activist, and all USJE staff. Thank you to everyone who's doing the work to move this union forward. And here's my ask. Go home from this convention feeling empowered and ready to take action. Talk to your coworkers. Bring your bargaining team members to your locals and just show up. Show up at every union event, show up at every local meeting, and show up at every bargaining town hall. And show your solidarity in the workplace, because that's where it matters most. Don't stop fighting, and we won't either. Bon Congrès. Have a great convention, everyone. So I was just told I can take a couple of questions. And if you're wondering where the box is, I think it's at the back. Those who know, know.
So I will manage the list, so I'll be watching when you go to the mics. I would ask that each delegate please identify yourselves before you speak. Microphone 4.
Nick Kutlick, RCMP, Local 70005. Sharon, thanks for your words. I do have a question specific to essential service agreements. I know that, especially my local and at the component in general, I'm just wondering if PSAC has given more thought to consultation on those agreements, all the way trickling down to the local level, because I can tell you, especially in my specific area, that there were 45 bodies that were sitting in the office who I can tell you were not essential in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you so much. That's a very good question. And what we do at PSAC, we go to the component. And what I would recommend, if you have positions in your locals that you feel should not be deemed essential, let your president know. We actually meet with the components and consult when each of these are being negotiated. And it's the component that works with us to do it. And we made a commitment that we're not signing off on any essential service agreements unless the component is comfortable with it. So we're going to be working together, but please let your component president know if there are specific positions, because after all, you're the experts, right?
Thank you. Microphone 4, please.
Oui, bonjour, Éric Lemieux, local 70006, SPPC. My question is about accommodation. I've seen floating around EDIA reports about, in some cases, they're recommending accommodation as a yes by default, which is something I've not really seen implemented, at least not at the PPSC. And I'm wondering if there's anything from USJE or PSAC, if there's any movement in that regard for more generally like accommodation for the yes by default.
So just to let you know, when it comes to, we use a lot of acronyms, so I'm guessing you're using equity, diversity, and inclusion. When they first announced workforce adjustment, the first thing our question was, okay, so who's going to be affected? Because after every round, we know that there's a group of people who are equity-seeking group members who have been impacted. We know a lot of the hires have been done in the last 7 years. So where is this going to leave the public service? I can tell you that we got lip service. We were told, yes, we're monitoring, the departments are monitoring it. We went back to the National Joint Council and we asked, where's the data? Now, there is a committee called the Joint Employment Equity Committee, where the data is supposed to be presented. When the committee asked for the information, no data was made available. We're told that departments are tracking it. To date, and I've gone to Senate committees, I've gone to governmental committees themselves, asking for the data, and yet there is silence. And so this is very, very scary when you think about the impact of who's going to be cut. And we've seen it, right? And in the previous one, it was our members with disabilities that were hurt the hardest. Previous to those cuts, it was members with disabilities and Indigenous members. So the question is, who is being cut next? When it comes to accommodation, there is a difference between duty to accommodate and, having a telework agreement. One is an obligation under the law up until undue hardship. The other is an agreement. The two are not the same. And so I can tell you various departments seem to misunderstand what that means. And so we're filing grievances to challenge them, and we're taking it higher up to Treasury Board to let them know that you have a problem here. And you're going to get mass litigation if this continues. So I wish I had better news for you. I can tell you that the same Treasury Board has gone to Senate committees and stated that they're providing the information and they do have it. I have a term for that, but you read the harassment statement, so I won't say it.
So I see no further speakers, but before you leave, Sharon, we'd like to give a little token of our appreciation. We really appreciate that our national president of PSAC was here this week. She's going to be here all week, so thank you very much, Sharon. Okay, we're doing pretty good. We're moving things along. Right now, we're going to go into another part of the agenda. We're going to be introducing the members of the National Executive. So I'll be asking the National Executive to come forward to the front of the hall and stand as you're being introduced. Don't worry about it. No. Okay, we're going to begin with Lynette Robinson, National Vice President and Regional Vice President for RCMP, Justice, PPSC Atlantic. They have no idea which order it's in, so this is fun. I've got Zoe Johnson, Regional Vice President for British Columbia and Yukon, RCMP, Justice, PPSC. I've got Kirsty Havard, Regional Vice President, CSE, British Columbia. I've got Jeff Sandelli, Regional Vice President, CSE Community, Pro Border Canada West. I've got Zeph Ordman, Regional Vice President, CSE Alberta. None of it? RCMP, Justice, PPSC. Next, I have Shauna Ward, Regional Vice President for CSC Saskatchewan. It's okay, I need to take a breath. Next, I have Heather McKinnon, Regional Vice President for RCMP, Justice, PPSC, Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Next is Regional Vice President for CSE Manitoba, Kirk McIntosh. Next, I have Regional Vice President for CSE Ontario, Bill Bailey. Next, I have Regional Vice President for RCMP, Justice, PPSC, and this is a secret, CSIS, Bella Scallon for Ontario and NCR. Next, I have Carol Osborne, Regional Vice President for CSE Community, PBC East. Now, I never like to disappoint, but I'm going to disappoint somebody in the room. The next I have is Regional Vice President, National Capital Region. I don't have the 11 departments. Jean-Paul Sorette. Next, Sonia O'Brien-Coulterman, Regional Vice President, NCR RCMP. Next, we have Patrick Ménard, VPR Québec, SCC. Next, we have Annie Blanchette, VPR, Québec, GRC, Justice, SPPC, SCC, Communauté, CLCC. Next, we have the Regional Vice President for CSE Atlantic, Lorianne Wesselby. So delegates, observers, guests, members of PSAC Board of Directors, and friends, these are the people who were elected to represent you on the National Executive for the past 3 years. These have been very busy, frustrating, and challenging times. And every one of your representatives has risen to the occasion time after time again to very professionally and ably represent their members, often at the detriment of their personal and family life. Sur le plan personnel, j'ai eu le privilège de travailler avec chacun d'eux et j'ai grandement apprécié leurs conseils, leurs points de vue et leur amitié. Je vous invite à vous joindre à moi pour exprimer notre reconnaissance envers ces membres dévoués de votre exécutif national. So like every politician in the room, they want to stay at the front, but they're going to go sit down. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Okay, next I'm going to introduce the Nominations Committee. So if you're all ready. J'invite maintenant le comité des mises en candidature et se présenter à l'avant de la salle du Congrès. Oui. Louise, est-ce que tu es là? Oh oui? OK. Nathalie Bernier, SCC local 10035 de l'établissement Cowansville, elle est présidente du comité de mise en candidature. I didn't prepare you, Nathalie, but Nathalie, pourriez-vous, s'il vous plaît, présenter les membres de votre comité? Oui.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je vais vous présenter Louise, qui est ici. Louise Paquet, de ta région.
Local 3005-65, Alberta.
Ici, vous avez Mélissa Sauvé.
SCC Atlantique régionale 600142.
Sébastien, est-ce que tu veux?
Technical Advisor for the Nominations Committee, Sébastien Bezeau, directeur des communications.
Merci. Et merci beaucoup, Nathalie, Melissa et Louise, d'avoir accepté de siéger au comité des mises en candidature. You can take your seats. Now, if you have any nominations for the positions of National President, for National Vice President, and Regional Vice Presidents, they should be going to this committee. So any nominations that are provided are date-stamped, and these individuals who have graciously agreed to take on these positions are apolitical. They cannot run for office, so I want to make that very clear. OK, la première chose, j'aimerais maintenant reconnaître les membres du comité d'accueil du Congrès. J'invite les membres du comité à monter sur l'estrade. Oui. Now, some are not here today, but I'm still going to acknowledge their work on the committee as well. First, I have Patrick Ménard, VPR, SESJ Québec. Isabelle Verville, local 10003. Julie Charret, local 10030. Josiane Bouffard, local 10172. Il y a deux personnes qui n'ont pas ici aujourd'hui. Régine Enze-Imana, local 10077. Et Élise Côté, local 10077. Les conseils techniques, Christina Hatchard, Melanie McCormick et Jonathan Savard. Merci infiniment pour tout le travail que vous avez accompli afin de nous préparer à cette semaine de congrès. One final thank you. I can tell you the host committee did a significant amount of work in helping prepare for this convention. And we're not normally blessed to have that many people, but we really want to say thank you so much for all the work that you've done. Okay, I see that we're 4 minutes away from lunch. So we are going to stop at this point, and I'm going to turn over to Christina Hatchard for any potential announcements.
Just a few announcements. If you're attending the Equity Committee reception, I would ask that you please ensure that you have your ticket as it starts straight after the close of the convention day, and it'll be hosted just in the foyer outside here. If you have not received your voting wands or translation devices, please see our AV technicians at the back of the room. The wands will be required for sure for the votes on Thursday morning, but also if there are any calls to have secret ballots, you'll need them. For your guests attending the bus tour this afternoon, please have them meet my staff out front for 1:45. And just a reminder, the convention floor doors will be closed for lunch. Please take what you need, and the doors will reopen 15 minutes before the start of convention. Thank you, David.
Merci, Christina. So if you're following your agenda, the next agenda item is a very important one. It has us going through the honor roll, so honoring those who have passed during the past 3 years. So I would ask respectfully that we be back on time for 1 o'clock, so that way when we start that, we don't have people walking in, okay? So please be back for 1 o'clock, and I hope you have a good lunch.